name is Back and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I'm a man fumbling in the dark. I'm a man fumbling in the dark trying to work out what the hell is Time Lord Victorious? What is Time Lord Victorious? And it kind of irritates me that I'm still asking that question because I've already paid for the first two parts of it, for goodness sake. Yeah, I think I paid for the first two, just about everything I can pay for as yet. Well, up until a few days ago. And I still really don't know what the story is or why it wants me to invest in it, why it thinks it's worth investing in. Why are they excited about Brian the Ood? You know, what? Tell me just like, why am I giving you my money? Hey, look, David Tennant looks great in the Time Lord regalia. I like the posters. Like, okay, so you shelled out for a couple of posters from Lee Binding. Why does that mean I'm going to pay for it? The posters were free. Like, okay, it looked good, a lot of promise, but it doesn't look like you're delivering on the promise. Or maybe you are, So anyway, I'm going to be reading a few articles while we fumble away trying to work out what the hell is going on with Time Lord Victorious. Hopefully I'll understand it, and if I understand it, hopefully you're going to understand it too. But before we get there, can I ask you guys, can you hit that subscribe button? Maybe hit the subscribe button. That'll be fantastic. Don't be shy of the like button and share button. Hit all those things as well. That'll be fantastic. But definitely hit the subscribe button. Now, why should you hit that subscribe button? Well, there are many reasons. Many reasons. First reason I'm going to give you is as well. Yeah, it's nice. You know, yeah, it's doing me a solid. Why not? Doesn't hurt. You know, it's kind of a nice thing to do. Secondly, if you subscribe, you can enter any of my ongoing competitions. And the prize this week, we're giving this away. Next week, when I'm on the TARDIS Zone, we're going to be doing a watch along of the Shakespeare Code. Oh, a big, good Gareth Roberts episode of Shakespeare Code. David Tennant and Freema Agyeman. Oh my God, we saw Smith and Jones last night. Freema Agyeman is just, just objectively the perfect. I mean, she's like, one of my favorite sisters to go to, and I recommend if you ever get a chance, go and visit Florence Forensic. It's absolutely gorgeous. Also, if you keep kosher, this is just a little aside. If you keep kosher, the traditional gelato places freaking gorgeous. You don't have to worry about having a kosher certificate on them because they have the very traditional methods of making gelato. You should ask them if they use gelatin. The answer is going to be no, they don't use gelatin. But you should ask them if they use gelatin. Why should you ask them if they use gelatin? Because that's made out of pig bones. And pig bones, not overly kosher. But if you go in there, you can get into the fruit flavors. It's gorgeous. Anyway, Florence, freaking gorgeous city. Absolutely love Florence. Go to the museums and you look at these sculptures, these work of art, and they are just beautiful. I mean, you just stare at them. They're absolutely gorgeous. I kind of feel the same way about Freema Agyeman. She's like freaking perfect. I mean, I know on objective beauty, beauty level, she is just stunning beautiful. Anyway, so I do it. So we watched Smith and Jones last night, which is good. So next week is the Shakespeare Code. But what's going to happen when we watch the Shakespeare Code? What am I blabbing about? You can win this prize, Power of the Daleks by Patrick Troughton, his first story. This is the original release of it. I just got the new release, which is why I'm giving this away. The original DVD release, which I thought was great. Honestly, I have no idea why they bothered redoing it. When I finish watching Fury from the Deep, I'll get to that. But I'm still behind a million things. When I finish watching Fury from the Deep, I will get to that, and I'll try and do a side-by-side and work out what's the difference? Anyway, to win that DVD, how many discs is it? Does it say? It must be a few discs, right? It must be at least two. Let's have a look. Okay, I just want to whip this out. There's one. There's a little booklet. There's two. Okay, 2 discs. To win this DVD set, all you need to do, subscribe to the channel, and in the comments, leave the hashtag I am your servant. This is not a pledge of servitude from you to me. Although, if you want to do that, that's cool. If you want to serve me, I don't mind. This is the cliffhanger to episode 2. I am your servant. Was that a cliffhanger? Yeah, it was a good bit in episode 2. And we're going to do the prize for next week. Also, if I don't care what you believe about theology, about God, if you're an atheist, whatever. If there's anything you want in life, if there's anything you want in the world, this Friday is the Jewish holiday of Hoshana Rabbah. Hoshana Rabbah is also my wife's birthday. And on that day, it is said that the nations of the world, the non-Jews, have their fate for the year stamped and sealed, which basically means you get your range of options about where you're gonna go. If there's anything you would like me to pray for, and again, it doesn't matter if you're an atheist. It doesn't matter. I make no judgments on you. I don't care if it's hypocritical. If you just want to do it as a anything you want. Anything you want. Subscribers only. Because I got stuck like this week right now. Like, subscribers only. Please, subscribers only. I am happy to pray for you on that great and holy day. I'll do it from the land of Israel, where it is a local call. Even though there's no such thing as long-distance calls anymore, I think. Which is actually interesting. What book was that? R.C. Clarke predicted that in... I think 2010. My guess is the book 2010. I never read the 3001. I read 2061, which I quite liked. But I never read the one after. The one they did anymore. Anyway, there are no local calls. But still, if you want me to pray for you, send your prayer request in, completely confidential. Whatever it is, I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm not going to tell anyone. I literally not a soul, and I will delete it. Nobody's ever go completely anonymous. Don't worry about it. Fine. Let's talk about Time Lord Victorious. And again, I'm a little bit miffed at Time Lord Victorious because look, I work in marketing, and this was a great idea. A great initiative, and it seems to be have a good central idea, tying it together. But it's been managed, I think, just atrociously, just very, very, very badly. Actually upsets me because I would have liked to have seen it done well. This is what they should have done. They should, whenever you want somebody to part with money, whenever you want somebody to pay for something, you need to give them a good reason to do it. And that poster, the Lee Binding poster, not enough. Even though it was really exciting, it's not enough. It was just not enough. What they should have done, I think, is do an introductory story, which has the whole idea, which I believe is David Tennant at the end of Waters of Mars going back... and becoming Time Lord Victorious, trying to destroy death from the world, and he got McGann and the Eccleston Doctor teaming up to stop him. I think, but I don't know, because it's a multi-platform event, and you're supposed to have bits, and each bit's supposed to be self-contained, and it's just, my perspective, I should be the prime audience for this, the prime target for this, because I'm a guy who absolutely adores Doctor Who, and I can't stand the current iteration of it. I absolutely can't stand it. There's no possibility in a billion years of me buying any of the current merchandise, because I just hate that show, that version of the show, which I actually don't even think of as Doctor Who. On my personal private copy of Twice Upon a Time, when Capaldi regenerates, it fades to white. It dips to white. And then we cut to a picture of the TARDIS in space. Cut to titles, because I've cauterized this from Doctor Who, because it's too at odds with Doctor Who. I think Doctor Who should be a fiercely intelligent, heroic, moral character, which is the opposite of the character in my opinion. If you're somebody who likes the current era, God bless you. Good nothing against you. I'm happy for you to enjoy it. I'm happy for anybody to enjoy it. I'm happy for anybody to enjoy most things, really. I mean, really, it's something quite incongruous enjoying Doctor Who. I don't think if anybody's pissed off at you for that, it's a problem. So anyway, but I wanted it because I'm like somebody who's starved of. I feel like I'm starved of good Doctor Who. And I think probably a lot of the target audience feel that way because it's kind of tailored. It's tailored for people like me, avoiding the current era altogether. So which I think was the point of it. I really think the point of it. I do think the sales, the merchandise sales have created. Don't you remember all that merchandise we saw lined up before The Woman Who Fell to Earth debuted? Rack upon rack, all the Jodie coats, the Jodie t-shirts, there's so much Jodie stuff. Not so much anymore, you don't see anything anymore. I mean, character options, they spat out 5 Jodie figures so far. You got Jodie Whittaker, and then you got another company making Jodie Whittaker figures. That's also a sign that your property isn't too highly priced when another company can go ahead and make the same thing, and it's really not a problem. And nobody's like, who cares? So you had the Jodie figure, you got Yaz, you got Ryan, you got Graham, and then you got repaints of them, and then you had the resolution Dalek, and then you got the Jadoon, which is basically a repaint. I think they've made. Did they put the Mahook on it? By the way, speaking of somebody who can't stand the current era, who actually can't stand the current era. I was watching Smith and Jones last night. I couldn't help but thinking, Chris Chibnall, one thing he could write, one thing that he was able, and this was the writing I think he got right, was the Jadoon. I think he was pretty good at that. Although I don't think the new guns they designed for them wasn't very good. Again, I was watching Smith and Jones last night. So anyway, that's where I think Time Lord Victorious comes from. Time Lord Victorious is meant to appeal to people like me, and it's repelling people like me. What they should have done is treated this like an anthology book of short stories. Have the first half of the story at the front, and have the second half of the story at the back, and make that release an audio version of it. Have Jake Dubman do it. You need one bloody person. Jake Dubman do it, and do the rest. And I think the cost of that too much. Then it's not worth you investing in BBC. It's not worth me investing in. But had they done that, then I'm excited to go and buy the comics. I know why the Doctor's with the defending the Daleks in the Titan comic. I know why Christopher Eccleston's fighting the vampires. I know why he's able to get back to the dark times. I'm like, oh, I'm into it. And all these are like short stories within the big set, and they're all be self-contained. And I don't understand how they made and how they screwed up so much. Another mistake is that. Even though that the current era Doctor Who is cosmetically completely removed from Time Lord Victorious, the individual licensees are still making the same hiring choices. The same hiring choices, which I feel like is replete with what's called diversity hires, which I think are people who are hired because of their identity rather than any other reason. I think it's primarily because they're doing. Particularly, I think that about the Big Finish releases. Big Finish had some really terrible releases with people who I think are diversity hires. The recent Flying Dutchman and the Dispossessed. The Flying Dutchman is the worst, the absolute worst story Big Finish has ever put out by a woman named by the name of Gemma Arrowsmith. It's absolutely terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Would fit seamlessly into the Jodie Whittaker. If you're a fan of Jodie Whittaker, by the way, Jodie Whittaker era, right, and you want to check out Big Finish, go for that story. You're gonna freaking love it. Okay, you will love it. So I have noticed there are there are certainly prominent people on Twitter who are first-time writers who are all female on the Big Finish releases. It doesn't bode well. Listen, I'm waiting for it to be a good release, right? I'm open-minded for it to be a good release. I am nervous right now. But again, I bought those. I pre-ordered those audios on the strength of Big Finish, on the strength of what of the stuff they've done in the past, and on the strength of that initial poster, which all looked freaking fantastic. Then the authors came out, but their first release, quite cleverly, which is coming out, I think, in about a week, is the Master one with the John Coltrane doing the Delgado and the Alien Masters, both of which are debuting on Big Finish. That gets me in right there. That's worth the price of entry. The other ones, I'm a bit nervous. So, but the trouble is they didn't have a central story that makes me want to get all the other stories. So now I'm scrabbling through websites trying to work out what the hell this is. So why am I doing it? Just to tell you guys, so you can evaluate. So I've so far I've read the first Titan comic. I go and find my review of that. It was. The problem was, diversity hires, not diversity hires, inappropriate hires. I think Doctor Who, when it works best, much like Star Wars, is best when it's aimed at 8-year-old boys. So when you're aimed at maybe 12-year-old boys, right? In smart 12-year-old boys. I think when you aim at that, you get really best Doctor Who. And I think when you aim it at 8-year-old girls, which is much more akin to now, right? Or maybe 6-year-old girls. It's gone much younger. which was the creative team. I think they would resonate with that audience much more. Feminine. Who was it? Jodie Hauser, and look, it's all the hiring choices that made the comic book industry fare so terribly over the last few years. Again, I don't understand what's wrong with making a feminine science fiction action adventure, and make it part of the DNA. I was on board for it with Jodie Whittaker. It just hasn't worked. So there was that. Then there Monstrous Beauty, which is a little bit better. It was a first part of an excellent story when he's back in the great Time Lord Vampire Wars, and it has a lot of 2020isms in it. Rassilon is in it, an early Rassilon who's a black woman. I mean, really. I mean, like, come on, really? It's so tired and so boring now. So there's that. But most annoyingly, for a massive fanboy like me, I have no idea how is Excellent all of a sudden able to get back to this dark time. And that's apparently happened in the escape room portion that you can only see in London. And that's a vital freaking part of the story. If they mention that in the initial, they did what I said, did an hour long dramatic reading, and have that as part of it. Introduce Brian the Ood, introduce everything, set it up and make it exciting and put it out for free. Then I think people will be more interested in buying the books and everything. So they just had the first novel came out, which I think is the cornerstone of the story. Which again, we're going to read articles. But before that came out, we also got this. There's another story in the Doctor Who comic creator. This really kind of crappy app that you can make Doctor Who comics. I think it might be good to get like a Doctor Who comic creator and make spoof comics. Taking the piss out of it. Other more than that, not so much. So this is 99 cents, which I am not buying at all. It's a Tales of the Dark Times, I think it's called. First part. So here, let's read this over here. I got this little synopsis. Let's see what this says about it. Make sure this is the right one. Is this? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the right one. Tales of the Dark Time stars the 10th Doctor and Brian the Ood was a comic creators contributed to multi-platform Time Lord Victorious. Again, just, really? Just look at that. That looks kind of crap. I'm a massive comic book fan. It's not a comic I would buy it 99 cents for. I mean, if they paid me, I might read it. So the plot is Episode 1, Brian the Ood, a remorseless but persistent killer who hates his name. Okay. Why don't I know? This is the first time we're introduced, right? Tell me, okay. Searching for the only thing he has close to a friend, the 10th Doctor, he finds the Doctor in a desert holding his sonic screwdriver and wearing a solid Time Lord robes. The Doctor informs Brian that he went to the desert because he wanted to do something good, which he achieved by finding and saving the last survivors of the ancient species, who the Doctor sees as white orbs. What? Who the Doctor sees as white orbs floating around him. He tells Brian that they are teaching him the secrets of the ancient books. However, Brian cannot see the orbs. He tells the Doctor he has been alone in the desert for days, being fed by ghosts. Okay, actually, this story sounds pretty cool. Again, maybe you should have put it out for free and paid some for decent artwork. Russ Leach, who's Kickstarter, Indiegogo, I should say, has just got funded. Only Death Can Save Us. Used to work on Doctor Who Adventures. Would have been perfect. Okay, should have gone. He challenges the Doctor to name any of the ancient book, but the Doctor cannot, revealing he has been duped. Brian zaps the ghost with his translation sphere. Okay, fine. Okay. Don't really understand much about that. So then there's a short story as well that was released on Doctor Who website. Again, I should be, the prime, the prime guy for that. Where we find it? Where is this? No, that's a book. That was is this the Brian the Ood thing? Yeah. So it must be this one over here. Let's look at this tab. Dawn of the Keturah, right? So let's have a look at this story. The people of Brittany are dedicated, and the Keturah is supposed to be like the big bad for this story. The people of Brittany are dedicated to peace, wisdom, and contemplation. One day they are visited by three Keturah standing still as statues as a leader, the leader Majoral approaches them. One Keturah explains that they have that they are tasting the crystal moth futures, and that they see potential. Okay, Keturah. Who wrote this, by the way? James Goss. James Goss, solid writer, but yeah, how much would it cost to get somebody just to read the story and then put out the audio? This could have been so exciting. And yeah, James, I don't blame you. This is a marketing job that's gone bad, okay? This is it's simply a job in marketing that has, lost its way. The tourists are on their way to Binny to perform the great task as they have always done and always will. It is their duty and mission to visit every world and assess every species, bringing the gift of death and death to all life. So that sounds like the Red Dwarf episode, The Inquisitor, right? That's essentially who they are. They kind of look like him as well. Majorial, how we pronounce his name, doesn't understand, and the Keturahs explain that her people had once had a promise, having built cities and traveled far and wide, and they're at peace with the empires, but not anymore because they refused to trade with one species. Denied supplies, the species became warlike, and in a few centuries will destroy the moon, and in an eventual reprisal will accidentally target the second sun, making it go nova. Fine, so things, shit happens when you're party naked, baby. I think it's what they're saying. Majoro speaks for a people, stating that these events haven't happened yet, and the Keturah talks as though the people of Brittany are guilty or something. They knew nothing. Well, essentially, yeah. I mean, why don't they just watch Minority Report? That will sort this out for them. This little confusing thing. He simply tells her that eternity is wasted on her people. Majoro has a tribe of the tribe mothers gather weapons, but the Keturah identifies that they mean no harm, and they are adjusting the lifespan of the species. Though Majoro doesn't know what a lifespan is. Yeah, again, what it's so 2020 to have the women the mothers get ready for war. The women, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. But if this is a non-industrialized species, it's not very likely now, is it? It's not very likely, is it? It doesn't really. I mean, it's interesting to do once or twice. That's something different. But to do relentlessly, it's kind of why we've all switched off from BBC. Enough of this crap. Was it her people would have lived and proliferated forever, but now they take up as much of the universe as they deserve. Fine. It's essentially the Red Dwarf episode, the Inquisitor. The new lifespan will be 3 months, 3 turns of the moon. We have judged you and we have given you a gift. Now you may begin screaming. They sound kind of cool, but can you imagine if you heard or saw this? Like maybe spring for like a bit of a simple animation, so we get to see this stuff and we're excited by it. I mean, the BBC Studios should have invested more into this. That's the bottom line. They should have invested. If they invested something into this, I think it would have been a massive, massive success. As it is, it's going to be like, another Doctor Who book, another comic. I don't see it. Maybe the comic book may spike a little bit from the nosedive of the Jodie Whittaker, issues. Maybe not. I hope it does. I wish them the best. But at the current leave, they are all left. That's all left are piles of dust and the crystal moss. Okay. And while the Keturah may argue and disagree, they had to start somewhere, and there are many more planets to visit. Again, it's like, it's a bit piecemeal, and it's like, why am I Why would I want to read this? Like, what's sucking me in, right? It's like, it's a villain I don't know anything about. I don't like this presupposes an interest into that has been generated in the species, and that's the mistake they made. They haven't like it's a nice design, but before you get my money, you need to justify. Again, listen. The only reason I got the comic strip because I saw it on Comixology. I thought, I'm kind of intrigued to read this a little bit, and it'll make good content for the channel. That was it. So I could review it, but other than that, no. Fine. So Scream Rant, which is a font of stupidity, font of fabulous stupidity, I think spills the beans on this book that just came out, and hopefully will tell me what this story that is supposed to get me so excited. And I figure Scream Rant can do it. It might be worth my while. Even though they got my money already. I already got the bloody audios and the comics, and I'm going to buy the rest to review them because you guys liked it. But I'm talking about for you guys. Why should I have your money? Doctor Who, 3 doctors are going to war on one another. Great idea. Okay, great idea. Again, should have this should have been this story. This should have been the story to suck me in the middle of a battle between David Tennant's Doctor, and then I would have bought, Damon Tennant, Victoria's excellent again, and then I would have bought this book and read it because I'm excited to know more. Really, BBC Studios, can you just listen to me, please? I'm trying to help you, okay? You're not even paying. I'm trying to help you. Doctor Who Victoria sees 3 versions of the Doctor go to war, one another, with fate of all time hanging in the balance. Well, we know it's not. We know all time, kind of manages to struggle on, because we saw the Matt Smith here. Okay, Doctor Who Victoria's event sees 3 different incarnations of the Doctor go to war. We see it on the poster, one on another. Gee, really, that's the 3rd time they use that sentence. The most exciting Doctor Who story in years is not being told on TV, but rather in a remarkable transmedia initiative, including everything from novels, comics, to escape rooms, to Dalek-themed animation series. But it's, again, badly. Yes, doing that badly. The story has been building momentum throughout September, revealing the history is being rewritten in in the most dramatic ways imaginable. No, it hasn't done that at all. David Tennant woke up. The Time Wars vanished, and he's working with the Daleks for some reason in a kind of boring issue. I have to tell you, wasn't well done. With terrible monster design. That didn't spark any interest in me whatsoever to buy a second issue. The most blah 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 blah. Building. It wasn't building. It was just flat. The Daleks are under attack from a race called the Hond. Terrible. That's the terrible design. Who should have died out in the dark times, and their last defender is an incarnation of the Doctor. The Ninth Doctor stumbles upon an ancient Gallifrey and is caught up in war between the Time Lords and the cosmic beings called the Great Vampires. Right? Okay. And now Stephen Cole's Doctor Who novel, The Night, the Fall, and the Dead. The reason for this chaos is finally being explained. Unsurprising, it's all the Doctor's fault. Yeah, okay. Fine. Okay, The Night, the Fall, and the finally, okay, we'll find out. Night, the Fall, and the Dead is set shortly after the events of the Waters of Mars, with the Doctor deciding to break and travel back to the dark times when the universe was young. Well, okay, stop for a second. Waters of Mars, he became Time Lord victorious, right? And he saved Adele, whatever her name was, and then she shot himself, which I thought made him realize, being a Time Lord victorious was a bad idea. Wasn't it? Isn't that where that went? I mean, I got to rewatch it, I guess. Maybe I'll watch it for Halloween. Ooh, Waters of Mars, good Halloween episode. He's essentially playing a cosmic tourist, but he's appalled by what he discovers as a race called the Tourists introduced death. Death itself to the universe. The Doctor is the one standing in the shadow of his own mortality, and as such he decides death should be overthrown. He assembled an army to destroy the Tourists and block off death itself. This sounds like a really stupid idea, right? This sounds like why would he have this? This sounds like, Look, we did it in Torture Miracle Day, and other than boring us senseless, it showed you that if people didn't die, there's going to be a few problems in the world. Yeah, problems in the universe. The doctors in the blah blah. It assembles an army. Okay, fine. We've seen that. Could to destroy the growth and block themselves. The Doctor. To the Doctor's surprise, he finds that Death has defenders. 2 of his early incarnations. The 8th Doctor has allied with the Daleks, Daleks against him. Another Christopher Eccleston's Ninth Doctor is working with the great vampires themselves. Okay, well, jeez, and then idiots. I would have been excited for the monstrous beauty, the Eccleston story now. Now I'm in... Damn, it's so annoying. This is so annoying. It's a shocking twist, no doubt. It will be explained in future times. Big Finish is releasing a number of audiobooks starring Paul McGann's 8th Doctor, including one called, appropriately enough, The Enemy of My Enemy. Meanwhile, Christopher Eccleston's Ninth Doctor... I'm so annoyed. They could have done this as like an abridged hour version of the story. And I'm just seeing how it could be done now. Meanwhile, Eccleston's Ninth Doctor is encountering the great vampires and supplementary comic book published in the September-October issues of Doctor Who magazine. So it's safe to assume they will eventually fully understand the stories. Yeah. But, I just want to know, who thought it was a good idea to have a marketing initiative where you start with one piece of the jigsaw that you can't work out what it is, and then you're given another disparate piece of the jigsaw, and and none of them hook up, none of them join up, and you're not even given the picture on the front to work out what it is you're supposed to be working to. How many of those? Yeah, it's a terrible piece of marketing. And listen. The rumour, which I kind of believe, is that BBC Studios and BBC Cardiff, BBC are at loggerheads with each other, and there is a civil war between them. BBC Cardiff representing the group of BBC that wants to lecture the world and be stunning and brave, and BBC Studios understands that the BBC is going to be utterly destroyed if they carry on this way, and they will. I mean, really, I've never seen such hatred for the BBC. Yeah, I've never seen it before. What will happen when the Doctors collide? Usually, multi-Doctor stories see a different incarnation of Doctor team up against a dangerous threat. But Steve calls the Night, the Flesh, and the Night, the Flesh, and the Grass. No, that's not what it's called. Wait, that's the second book, isn't it? What's this one? It's called. What's it called? The Juggler. I can't remember. Yeah, the Night, the Fool, and the Dead. Which I thought that was Stephen Cole's book, wasn't it? Or maybe that's Una McCormick, who is not a diversity hire. She's pretty good. Will come together across the stage, but Stephen calls the Night, the Flesh. No, it's the Flesh and the Grass. Literally ends with the 10th Doctor declaring war on it. I'm sure that's a misprint. All right, war on his past selves, and so the 3 armies collide over the wellspring of death itself. We're each commanded by a different Doctor. They missed the trick there. This sounds interesting, but not again. I think the poor marketing of it has made me not interested in buying this book. They put out a 60-minute audio story which had elements from all of this stuff. I would have bought this book. I would have been excited about it. This actually sounds like a cool idea. Time Lord Victorious is truly telling Doctor Who story, unmatched in its sheer scale, and I wish I could say unmatched in its botched delivery, but there's quite a lot of Doctor Who, which has quite a shockingly botched delivery. There you go. So now I've caught you up with Time Lord Victorious. I think we've got another part of it coming out this week, another part of the comic book. My name is Sheila Beckin, the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.
Yeah.